It's got a woman in it. Fuck this, it's woke. Like,
You're still listening. This is our final transmission.
We're here, Jamie. It's me, Sam Russo. It's you, Jamie Carruthers. It's one horror movie a week from the dawn of time until the end of time. Welcome, everybody. How are you, Jamie?
I'm fantastic, Sam. How are you?
Killing it, buddy. Flying, cruising, winning. Remember when winning was a thing?
Yeah.
Anyway, what are we doing today, bud?
We're rounding out our summer horror days.
Hey, do you want to go home yet? Are you tired?
Yeah, well, we've checked into an Airbnb in Detroit, of all places.
Oh, the fuck. Okay.
So we're finishing off our little jaunt around the various holiday destinations, and we've landed with Zach Cregger's Barbarian
Nice.
from 2022, starring Bill Skarsgård. Who else have we got, Sam?
Justin Long.
Justin Long. We got Georgina Campbell.
Cool.
We got Richard Brake. How do you feel about Richard Brake? Should we save that for
How
later?
do I feel about him?
Yeah. Should we park that?
Confused? How am I supposed to feel? Are you? Oh, has he done something?
No, like he has. I mean, he's done be a creepy guy in every single movie that he's in. That's just his default.
Is he in Septic Man?
I don't know if he's in Septic Man. Septic Man.
Don't talk about Septic Man.
But he's definitely... He replaced Sid Haig in the third Devil's Rejects movie.
Huh. He's not in Septic Man. He has huge Septic Man vibes, though.
Yeah. He's Welsh, you know. He's a Welsh man.
Shut up. Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You're right. He's from a town in Wales that I can't pronounce. Hedengud?
Sure.
Is that good Welsh? Yeah,
It was
probably.
It was fine. But yeah, he's a guy.
Yeah, that's everyone. That's all we need.
That is all we need. So 2022, what were you doing in 2022, Sam?
Fucking watching this.
I wasn't, because I didn't
No,
watch it.
2022 was great. Good year.
Didn't watch it till way later. We were just sort of coming out of the fugue of COVID, right? We were just starting to leave our homes a little bit.
I guess I felt like it was really over at that point. I felt like 2022, I was fully liberated, emancipated. I was a free man. So you didn't watch this when it came out in 2022? You were slacking.
I resisted it for quite a while for some unknown reason.
I actually have a memory of talking to you about this and being like, I just saw Barbarian, insert opinion, and you were like, oh, fuck that, I ain't going to watch that shit.
I don't know about that.
You were whining about it.
Shall I search our chat and see what I can find?
That's actually a terrible idea. Do that now. Because I vividly remember watching this for the first time, and I thought that you were going to be Mondo pumperoonied for this piece of cinema, and you weren't. And I still don't really know how you feel about it. I have a rough idea.
On the 13th of April, 2024, I texted you saying, I just watched Barbarian and it ruled. Spoiler alert.
2024, okay.
And then on the 5th of February 2023, you messaged me and said, you seen Barbarian? And I said, not yet, but it's on the list. And you said, fuck me, it's really scary. And I said, I'll watch it when I get back from Poland. That was a lie.
You lied to me.
I did. Unless I was in Poland for 2 years. I wasn't.
Which you definitely weren't. That's interesting. And now that I think about it, 2022, I just said that I felt like COVID was over. I went on tour in the US and 3/4 of one of the bands I was on tour with got COVID and had to go home. So I guess it was still very much a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. But the memory is what counts. I felt free.
Yeah. So my overriding memories of Barbarian, having watched it for the first time a year ago, but not really remembering too much about it besides the hits, was I remember it being in an Airbnb.
Yeah.
I remembered that Bill Skarsgård was creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered being confused about the Justin Long storyline.
Okay.
But I feel like I've got a handle on it now, so we can talk about that a little bit too. But I remember walking away from it being like, why did we need Justin Long to be a disgraced rapey director? But like I say, I feel like I've got a handle on it now.
Good. You've answered your own question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, spoiler in your text message. The first time I saw this, it scared the living shit out of me. It's the kind of film that fucking gets right up my crease.
I think like it's interesting because it's almost like a backwards slasher, but set in suburbia.
Yeah.
And that's cool and not something we've seen explored massively.
Yeah, the whole format is very interesting and I think quite original and very exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
No secret that I fucking think this film is absolutely quality.
Yeah, I would be really interested to hear from anybody out there that doesn't like Barbarian. I've not heard a negative word. I've not gone trawling through the Reddit reviews and the IMDb reviews, where I'm sure there'll be some fucking numbskull being like, man.
Some putts. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff to not like. I think there's stuff that I don't even like. There's plenty in there to not like. But I think if your overall feeling about the movie is what a piece of shit, you're probably just like a really jaded, overstimulated horror fan who finds nothing interesting in anything new or modern.
I wonder if the people think it's woke.
Fucking hell. That's a stretch, isn't it? Is it woke?
I think it's very much about sexual politics and the divide between genders and power imbalances within sexual relationships.
No. I thought we were going to have fun.
And that's why I think the Me Too Justin Long stuff exists, right? Like it's not an accident that there are 3 relationships in the movie and they are all difficult, challenging sexual dynamics.
What? So, but you think there's people out there who are like, fuck this, it's woke.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
There are people that are like that with every movie. Oh, it's got a woman in it. Fuck this, it's woke. Like,
wait, whoa. The woman's got a personality. Fuck this woke shit. Hang on. Who gave her lines? You think that's really a thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking hell, what a bunch of dickheads. Okay, if you're listening to this podcast and you think Barbarian is woke and therefore not good, fuck off, man. Sling your hook.
Yeah.
Boring.
Okay, so why don't we do the old synop, and then we can get into some spoilers, because I've got loads of stuff that I want to say. I wrote reams of notes on this.
Well, I can kick the fuck back then, because I wrote nothing.
Yeah. Do you want to give us a synopsis?
No, I don't, Jamie. Do you?
I mean, I'd rather not, but I will. Someone's got to do it, right?
Might as well be me then, eh? Old Russo stepping up to save the episode yet again with his magnificent synopsis skills.
You don't have to. I'm happy to
Brace
do it.
yourselves. Everyone, hold on to your butts, because Tess is in town. The town is Detroit. She's going to an Airbnb. And what? She gets there and someone's already staying there. What the fuck? That's not how Airbnb should work. It's Keith. Your boy Keith, played by Bill Skarsgård. There's a tense atmosphere in the Airbnb. And during the course of getting to know each other, as Tess takes shelter in the Airbnb to try and arrange alternative accommodation, she discovers a cellar, a basement, a labyrinth beneath the property. She and Bill Skarsgård explore. And it is at this point in the movie that the action pivots to an entirely different character by the name of AJ. Do you know what AJ stands for, Jamie?
Absolute jackass. I don't know.
There's a guitar teacher whose name's AJ. And his student says to him, what does AJ stand for? And he says, always jamming. Anyway, AJ shows up at the property, which he owns. He is a disgraced Hollywood type who has been accused of rape. He is in seclusion in his Detroit home, weathering the storm of his accusations, when he too discovers the subterranean lair beneath his Detroit home. There are characters in the.
I think we're there. I think we've made it.
We're there. We did it. That's the film. Wow, real campfire shit here today.
I feel like if the film played out as the synopsis did, it would not be anywhere near as good as it actually is.
I would leave. If that's the film that was playing before me, I ain't sticking around.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be listening to this podcast. I'm surprised I didn't see this in the cinema now that I think of it. Was it on at the cinema? 2022, it must have been.
Yeah, but I think, like I say, we're
reduced.
We're still in the tail end of the COVID stuff, right? So
yeah,
I think maybe we weren't enjoying ourselves in those sorts of capacities quite so much just yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Are you tracking Zach Gregor's career? Are you excited about his new movie, which is called The Kids
Weapons.
Are All Gone?
It's called
That's
Weapons.
Is it Weapons? Yeah.
When this is released, when this episode is out, that I will have seen that movie.
Ooh.
But as we're recording, I have not yet seen it, but I do have tickets to go see it on Saturday morning.
Sick.
Which is the day after it opens. So
the only time I could see it really is tonight, and I don't think that's going to happen because I have to rehearse. But I was very excited to see that. At some point, I will, maybe.
Shall we take a break and come back and get into some spoilers? Because it's very difficult to talk about this movie in any real capacity without spoiling it.
Yeah, I think I kind of already spoiled it, but yeah, let's bust a break.
Yeah,
come back.
Let's bust a break.
Yep, you heard me.
Whoa, holy shit. I guess that's why they call it Phantom Power.
All right, Sam, consider that break busted. How... Yeah, speaking of busted, this podcast is brought to you by Red Scare Industries, the home of Busted, the band, right? Were they on Red Scare?
Sure.
Let's say they were.
I went out with a girl once who went out with a guy from Busted. That was interesting.
I once went out with a girl, and after she went out with me, she went out with Eggsy from the Goldie Looking Chain.
Just literally moved down the bench at the Welsh pub to the next guy. Brilliant.
Red Scare Industries are a record label. They are a state of mind. They are a wonderful place to put your ears.
Yeah, go to redscare.net and support your favorite punk bands.
Anyway, Barbarian, that's the film we're talking about today. The first thing I want to talk about with Barbarian is the depths of the fake out in that first scene. That first extended period is incredible.
Fuck off. Yes, it's... Again, I'll go back to the first time I watched this. I don't think I've experienced tension like that in living memory.
Yeah.
It was, oh God, it's so well done. Whatever's going on with the chemistry between Georgina Campbell and Bill Skarsgård for the first section of this movie, it is agony, pure agony. It's like, it's hard to explain how two actors could create such tension between each other with absolutely nothing happening. Yeah. It's amazing. It's a real feat of on-screen chemistry, I think. It's all I can think of to credit it with.
He threads the needle really beautifully between like just being a nice normal guy and also being like a terrifying male presence that is designed to make you, the audience, and Tess very uncomfortable.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Georgina Campbell does an incredible job of dancing along this really thin line of being... I don't know, at times I think we're sort of emotionally led to believe that she's being overly cautious. And then at other times, we're led to believe that she's kind of shallow or judgmental. And then we're led to believe that she's just like fucking completely dropped her guard and for no reason we're terrified she's been manipulated. It's so obvious you're being manipulated. And we're being manipulated. We're being misled the entire time because, spoiler alert, everyone, Bill Skarsgård is not the threat in this movie.
No.
She's fucking amazing, man. What a fucking... I mean, how much stuff had she done before this? Did you know her much before
I hadn't seen her before in anything
Black
before
Mirror,
this.
I think, was the only thing I'd seen her in before this.
Yeah, I don't think I'd seen her in an awful lot. Nothing, like, meaningful, at least.
And she, again, she's an English lass, Maidstone, home of James Hull. Just a total fucking showstopper as well. What a grace. She's sick. But yeah, I mean, as soon as we see Skarsgård, we think, uh-oh, you're going to skin her alive. And it turns out he doesn't.
He's got this amazing... Because he's an incredibly beautiful man. Like, he's really good looking. But he also, unlike many, many other good looking men, he just exudes a sort of terrifying aura.
I mean, as much as, like, I don't feel like it's judgmental to say this. I find him attractive. I think he's an attractive dude. Yeah. But he is objectively funny looking. Like, he's fucking Pennywise, man.
Yeah. Do you think that, he's scary because he looks weird? Or do you think that he carries the weight of, like, having been Pennywise and having been these other scary characters and other things that, like, informs this? Or is it just that he's also like way more hench than he looks. There are like
He's
moments when
humongous.
he's like brooding, and it's like massive.
He's just got a really big, broad frame as well, but he does a
Yeah.
great job of becoming diminutive and becoming slumped and small. And then his vulnerability is absolutely off the charts in a lot of his most menacing performances. And I think, I mean, it's something he does great in. Do you ever watch that Castle Rock series, the
Yeah,
Stephen
I
King
did.
property? Yeah, he plays the kid in that, and he's again a very misunderstood kind of like a suspect character. No
Yeah.
spoilers for that show. Watch it. It's got some really great moments, but he just flits between this intense state of vulnerability and this horrific menace. And he does it almost effortlessly, even though you know it's totally in his control. It's all part of his actor's palette. But he's, you know, he did some classic interviews, I think, on late night TV where he's just being Bill Skarsgård, being funny and affable and charming and kind of quiet and funny and goofy. And then they ask him to do menacing, do Pennywise, do weird shit, and immediately the whole fucking room changes. Like he just flicks a switch and it's a different vibe completely. So I just think he's a bit of a master of his craft. It doesn't feel like a gimmick to me, really. It just feels like the thing in his toolbox that he's capitalized on the most. I think we'll see so much more from him as his career progresses and he gets more room to breathe. But fuck yeah, dude, what a fucking performance. I'd like to see him enter that sort of like McConaughey phase of his career where he's like a grizzly backwoods woodsman guy.
Not
You know.
doing like romantic comedies, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days type stuff.
Oh, I'd queue up for that shit around the block all day long. Yeah, I don't know. I just think he's really well cast in this role because there's it must have been such a tough choice to pick. Right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a guy who's already in this Airbnb when the quote unquote vulnerable female character shows up. What kind of menace do we want here? It could be fucking anyone from Steve Buscemi to Ving Rhames. You know what I mean? You could put anyone in that position. Any man is going to be scary in that position, I think. But to pick the specific kind of scary that is Bill Skarsgård, fuck yeah, now that's challenging.
Yeah, and like we say, the fact that he can weave from scary to vulnerable, and like not even vulnerable sometimes, just like normal and nice, and like even when he's doing nice things, it comes off creepy. Like all the stuff with the tea and him realizing that she's not drunk the tea and therefore doesn't open the wine, that still somehow feels threatening. Like he's aware of the situation and he's manipulating things in some way. And like, obviously women navigate the world in a very different way to men, and constantly having to be, or constantly are thinking the things that we're thinking when we're watching this sort of opening short film. And the fact that it puts me, 40-year-old white man, in the mindset of how a woman would feel in that situation is just really fucking clever filmmaking. The fact that like I can empathize with that. I mean, I empathize with it generally, but like I can empathize with it on a very real level. Like I'm feeling those emotions. I'm feeling that fear. Like, yeah, really good, really clever.
Yeah, and I'm fully like sucked into his predicament because I'm thinking, he's trying to all he wants to do is pour a glass of wine. And he's like, you can watch me pour it to prove that I'm not drugging you. Like, it's so bleak. But we also are just still kept on that knife edge of like, okay, so he's gonna show her that he pours the wine. So he's not drugged the wine. There's no way he's fucking drugged the wine. So what's his game? How's he gonna get her? Like we're still thinking he's gonna get her somehow.
And like,
fucked up.
We're programmed by living in a post-Scream world where we know that there could be a fake out at any moment.
Yeah.
But because we're only given these two characters, the only fake out that we can picture, or that I can picture at least, is maybe she's going to kill him and she's somehow orchestrated this thing and is the killer. But they do a really clever thing that's quite subtle, and I didn't clock it on the first time. But like we see some of her interior world. We see her car, we see her phone, we hear her on the phone to her ex and all that stuff, and we only hear him tell us about who he is. So it's only we either have to take him at his word, or think that maybe he's lying. It didn't occur to me before, but like that's really clever. It's just like we never see him interact with anyone that isn't her.
He has to go get his phone as well. There's just weird tension in those moments. He's quite grumpy.
Well, you fucking would be, right? You booked an Airbnb and suddenly there's this fucking woman at the door, and you can't just cast her out into the night. Like, you'd be pretty grumpy about it.
I don't know. I like his reaction. It's really well written, I think, because there are certain people in the audience who'll be like, fucking right, get rid of her. It's your booking. You know, these like territorial types who are like, you're ruining his night or whatever. Yeah. And then there's the people pleasers in the audience who are going to be like, oh, God, this is crawl out of your skin shit. There are people out there who'll be like, oh, he has to leave and let her stay there. He has to leave immediately.
Yeah.
But that's the power dynamic exploration that's interesting. And that's the unique response of everybody watching this can have a different perspective over what the outcome should be in that situation. And I was quite surprised by his bristliness at first. And that's what I think is masterful, because that puts you on edge, and that's what makes you suspect that he is fucking there to skin her alive. Because of course you wouldn't be like, hello, welcome, of course, come in, I've prepared a supper. You know, you would fucking be sharpening your knives behind your back kind of thing. So very clever, toying with my emotions the whole way. That's
I think like the line for me in that opening bit is when he's like, oh, there's a conference or something.
Oh, yeah, there's a conference in town, so everything's booked.
And we don't know that he's a local at that point, or that he's going to tell us that he's a local at that point. So, like, why would he know that there's a conference in town? Like, why would you know that as a person staying in an Airbnb? It just feels like a bit of knowledge that someone shouldn't have.
That's the moment my guard drops on him is when he reveals that he's, like, part of a collective that she's actually heard of. Yeah. That's when I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
But
who's going to kill her? Somebody
could just be lying.
To kill her. He what?
He could just be lying, though.
Yeah, but I didn't. I think I wasn't suspecting that. I remember first time I was not suspecting that at all. I thought like, oh, that was the moment I was like, fuck. So if he's not going to kill her, who is? Is there somebody else here or coming? Like, that's when the door just starts to creak open a little bit on your suspicion that maybe it's something to do with the house or the person who's booked it. I started thinking like, because thank fuck, I knew nothing about this movie when I watched it. I was like, it's called Barbarian. What could that possibly mean? And I was glued to this shit from that moment onwards. Like, I mean, I was in it the whole time, but I was like, you were gonna have to rip me away from this movie.
So I never thought in that opening scene, because we're only given two characters and we're not really given any detail about a wider world.
Yeah.
It never even really occurred to me in the watching of it for the first time that there would be any kind of third party.
Sure.
Until we see the mother come down the thing. So when she goes to the basement and sees the room with the bed and the camera, my thinking is, well, this is him, or maybe there's something demonic in the house that's going to possess him or something, but like...
So are you still suspecting him at that point? When she finds
absolutely.
Wow, okay, cool.
Especially because when he comes back, he's just so breezy about it, and he's like... But again, this is about the gender dynamic and how men experience the world differently. He's like, he doesn't believe her, and he's like, I've got to go see it to make sure it's real. And she's like, well, why? Like,
and I love the pragmatic thing where he's like, it's a bed and a bucket. Who cares? Like, basements are full of crap. And she's like, no, dude, a bed and a bucket. Like,
yeah, why doesn't she mention the camera?
Yeah.
That seems like an oversight on her part, but whatever.
I think maybe she does. I don't know. But it's such a pragmatic, like, oh, like, big deal. A bed, a bucket, and a camera in a basement? Of course, it's full of crap. She's like, you're not getting it. The fun level of frustration in that scene as well. But I'm not, to be honest, I'm not really suspecting Bill Skarsgård at that point. I'm starting to get the mystery vibe of like, what the fuck? Are they supposed to find this? Are they not? Are they entering some kind of like trap? Like, it has trap vibes.
It almost feels like the Borderlands, you know, like the
little bit.
The underground labyrinth has almost like a living feel to it.
Definitely. Yeah, a changing feel that is so puts you at such a sense of like queasy unease.
Yeah.
What about his method of putting the sheet on the duvet?
It's 100% correct.
It's fucking scary, is what it is. He's literally a sheet ghost for a minute. That's when you think, oh fuck, he's gonna jump on her or something.
But like,
gonna wrap her up in that duvet.
for me, if you wanted to make that moment scary and not like a nice moment, you would have her be in the duvet cover.
Oh, what? Because he could just jump on her and batter her to death.
Exactly. I think it does the opposite for me, is that it softens him because he is putting himself in a really vulnerable position there.
Oh, it's weird because that was a flit of menace for me. My dad once told me never to zip up my sleeping bag because it makes it easy for someone to kick me to death.
I don't know.
And he also said never sleep in the
works.
van on tour because someone could burn you alive in it.
Someone could burn you alive in a house. That's nonsense.
So do you know what I do? I say, fuck you, Dad. I'm going to zip up my sleeping bag and sleep in the van every night.
And then they kick you to death while they're trying to put you out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we get a second of the mother killing Bill Skarsgård before we immediately jump to the AJ storyline.
I mean, that comes out of nowhere and she smashes his head to bits.
Yeah.
Good gore.
And then we think that's over and we just have moved on to something completely separate.
I don't know what we think. First time I saw this, I was like, because it does like a sting at the end of that, doesn't it? And it says, does it say Barbarians? Does it do like a title thing?
I think the title is way earlier, maybe.
Oh.
I think it just hard cuts to Justin Long singing Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, we get this. I mean, this film is, in my opinion, pretty much breathless. Like, we cut straight to Justin Long singing this fucking dumb song. And then, he's on top of the world. Then he gets a phone call to find out he's sacked because he's been accused of rape. And the whole temperature plummets. He pulls off the road and we're like, fucking, what is happening? Why is this happening? So it's rattling you around.
Can I ask you what you think about Justin Long's character when we find out that he's accused of rape? Do you think...
In the moment?
Do you think, oh, he probably did it? Do you think he's ostensibly our protagonist, so we have to try and empathize with him, and therefore, is there going to be some way through this?
Well, I think I enjoy the dilemma as a viewer at that point because I know nothing about this guy. So I'm just enjoying hearing the tiny little snippets of quote-unquote both sides of the story and watching him suffer and struggle with it, because that's a really interesting dynamic straight away. Yeah. Here's a happy guy with everything going for him, and then wham, you're fucked. And, whatever led up to this is surely going to be teased out soon. And I'm really interested to see if we're dealing with a guy who's had a false accusation thrown at him and it's ruined his life, or if we're dealing with a fucking piece of shit who's going to get what's coming to him. And that is a fucking cool place to be for a second act of a movie.
And we are dealing with a piece of shit.
And we know that there exists a big, scary, head-smashing goblin woman. So what's the fucking connection, dude? How are these two fuckers going to end up in the same room together?
Yeah.
Where am I? A wonderful little maze to know that you're going to be navigating for the next hour.
Yeah, it's almost like, I don't know, like Wizard of Oz or something. Like you're just sort of taken to a completely different place.
Yeah, and I love when that place is not disappointing. Like sometimes there's movies with multiple character strands, and sometimes you're like, oh, we're back with this fucking guy. I got to put up with this guy just so I can get back to that other character I really like. Yeah. Whereas immediately I felt totally at home with this because I love Justin Long being a complete piece of shit. I mean, I love him generally speaking a lot of the time in a lot of stuff, but he's really good at this role. He's really good at this character.
Yeah, I think just the casting of Justin Long is basically impeccable because he exudes the energy of a lovely guy. And like, I think what the film is trying to say is that like sometimes people that seem like lovely guys are not lovely guys.
It's a great little trait of his to be able to come across as kind of a childlike, fun-loving, goof. Yeah. And then the gear shift, some of the things he says, it's horrible. Yeah. And that's a great feeling of almost betrayal watching the movie because, like you just said, he's fairly, air quotes, fairly affable, seems kind of gregarious, fun-loving guy, and then you're like, oh, fucking hell, he's that guy. Yeah. It's a lovely kind of slow-motion rug pull. But we have no idea the depths he's going to sink to in this movie. You're convinced it's going to be a redemption arc. You're 100% all in on, like, maybe he'll find a way somehow to pull this back. And
to like learn from this and we sort of, the movie really, it gives us that moment and then it takes it back. It's beautiful.
It takes it away. Yeah,
Like it's like for these kind of people, the kind of person that does the kind of things that he does.
Yeah.
There is no redemption arc because there's ultimately the person that they are is the person that they are. The person that does this is the kind of person that would do the other things that he later does. So like even like when we're presented with the redemption speech and we believe it as the audience because again he's the protagonist that we've been following for the previous 25 minutes or whatever, and even though we know that he's not necessarily a good guy, we've already had the scene where he basically admits to his mate that he did sexually assault this woman, which he tries to explain off in that sort of horrible way. She just took some convincing.
It's a horrible scene. And then the drunk phone call, all of it is so greasy and vile. And then we're stuck with him, you know? Yeah. We know all that about him at that point. If there's any benefit of the doubt being given, it's by a very fucking generous or deluded audience. But we're, for better or for worse, we're stuck with him.
I think like it means that we have like a really fun dynamic when we get into the basement, when he gets into the basement and into the underground tunnels, because like obviously he meets Tess is alive, and we want her to escape and we want him to have some hurt put upon him because of how shitty he is as a guy. And then he has his redemption, his mini redemption arc. And like, I don't know how other people feel watching this. Maybe, you know, like I say, women experience the world differently. Maybe they feel differently about his redemption arc than I do, but I am accustomed to believing a redemption arc in a movie when it's presented, even when it's not something that would be realistic in real life. Like,
I think we all are as a movie going public, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's part and parcel of the fucking price of admission.
So the fact that he gets this little redemption arc and then it immediately just like throws it away is it's masterful. And that's why I think people think that this movie, I don't know if they do. I've not done any research into people's thoughts, but like, I think if anyone with a critical reading of this could walk away and be like, this is woke because it's about sexual politics and how gross men are going to be gross men and women experience the world as like a scary, very different place to men.
I think he is such a shallow piece of shit. That's what I latch onto the most, is that we get a real depth of character study of somebody with fucking no depth of character. Yeah. And it's done in so many different ways. I can't even tell you how much I laughed when he finds this torture basement and dollar signs start spinning in his eyes because he thinks he can count it as square footage to fucking sell the place. That is so funny. And again, we're hot off the back of finding out he's a fucking rapist, and then we're laughing at how shallow he is and how greedy and covetous and manipulative. And that's just really good character-based filmmaking for me. We're following him through all the nasty little facets of his personality, laughing at some of it, being revolted by the vast majority of it, and also thinking, what's the fucking connection between this and the absolute fucking hobgoblin down in the basement? Is she going to eat his head? Where's Tess? What's happening? And we're still tense, but the tension is relieved a bit more by humour that wasn't there in the first act. Yeah. So everything that's happening in this whole fucking slow reveal of his horrible little personality is just fun as fuck to me.
The tension in that second act, when he gets to the house at least, is that we know that something under the floor bashes heads.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the bit in With Dale and I where he's in the toilet and he sees the graffiti that says, I fuck arses.
Yeah.
And he starts spiraling about maybe it's the guy who just called me a ponce who fucks arses. So... Yeah. It's that, but like an entire act of a movie. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's scary kind of foreshadowing. It's a great setup. And then the third act is this whole huge escape sequence, right? It's a pinball maniac attempt to escape that feels like one of those treacle slow motion dreams. You know, she goes to the cops and they don't give a fuck.
But those cops are the worst cops in any movie, I think. They might be... They might be my least favorite cops of all time.
I mean, they're pretty fucking Detroit. They're very Detroit in their attitude.
They just think she's a crackhead and therefore don't believe anything she's saying. But like, I feel like
if you have to say I'm not a crackhead, I've been taken hostage to a cop. Like, something's fucked. Like, even if you are a crackhead, help the crackhead. Like,
yeah.
what the fuck,
This is
dude?
why Detroit needed RoboCop. This is why Detroit needed Ed 209, because
Yeah.
this is what they had.
Yeah,
To be
that's what
fair,
they're dealing
if
with.
I was Clarence Boddicker, I would fucking love to shoot these cops.
You'd love Detroit, Jamie. You got to go.
Yeah? I'll go
Yep.
to this specific neighborhood.
Yep, you'll have a blast. That's another great reveal, is the morning when she comes out the house and you're like, fucking hell. You just have no idea that it's in the middle of a complete wasteland. You know, those outer edges of Detroit where nobody lives anymore and the houses are gone, just bombed to shit. That's a really scary moment because you think, oh, thank fuck, she's free, she's up, she's out, she's fine, she's going to meet her colleague or whatever the fuck. And you're like, oh no, she's in the fucking wilderness.
Yeah, do you think that they're
Yeah.
saying that like the suburbs is kind of like its own kind of backwoods? Its own kind of like
I don't know how suburban this is supposed to be. I think this is just one of the urban parts of Detroit that's destroyed. It's obviously housing, but it's not like way out, I wouldn't have thought.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
just, you know, it's just one of those fucking areas that's gone. That's just absolutely obliterated. It's fucking terrible. And yeah, putting her there, fucking hell, so far from help, so far from like all the things that you would probably associate her with, like a walk to Starbucks and a fucking Uber
Yeah.
or whatever. You're
Well, this-
fucked.
There's sort of talk about obviously a
Of
big
course, it must be suburban. Sorry, because obviously we get the flashback to when the houses were built,
yeah.
and it's the new Detroit suburbs at that point. Yeah, more suburban than it looks in the start.
Yeah, so I think like Barbarian is very specifically talking about gentrification at some points because like
Right.
the film that the Tess is there to make or to help making is about like these artist communities that go into failing neighborhoods and build them into like nice communities, and then he's part
Sure.
of that sort of community doing that specifically where they are.
Mm.
I'd love my mental sequel to flesh out a bit more, which is like thousands of young artists descend on this neighborhood and get destroyed by thousands of the underground chuds that live there. But
I'd like to see the government nuke them. I think that would be really funny.
yeah, that's just the end of Return of the Living Dead. But
That's why it would work. We know
but-
it works.
But like, so they're talking about gentrification, but they don't seem to have a stance on it because they're also talking about like leaving these areas to rot, and leaving these people to rot in these areas is also, you know, not good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
I didn't really get the gentrification thing because for me the move of gentrification would be to buy up all that property and turn it into fucking coffee shops and trendy whatever the fuck.
Well, yeah,
It's
when
more like the artist movement in Detroit is all about using the dead space, right? It's about finding a way to make something out of the destruction.
yeah, but you're going to tell me that this fucking red wine drinking art
The wine
guy
was there.
and all of his like buddies aren't going to want a coffee shop and aren't going to want.
I don't know what kind of community they're starting, I guess. It sounded more to me like they were more of an arts project than a like fucking corporate, let's turn these all into insanely expensive apartments and start again, bastards.
But I think like that's what happens, right? We saw it in Manchester. We've seen it in Liverpool. Like the cheapest areas become the most expensive areas because cool people move into those areas and they need an ecosystem of things that cool people
Need
like.
coffee.
They need an economy of like
Right.
places to spend their money and places to and work and things to do, and so all of this corporate shit sort of builds around them. And that would absolutely happen in every single area that these art communities move to, right? I have not done any research on whether these really exist in Detroit or not, but like,
Yeah, they do, and I don't know how much of it. I know that that's normally how gentrification starts. It's like traditionally people seeking low cost accommodation for whatever reasons, and then it gets co-opted and it gets developed and blah blah blah. But I kind of got the vibe in this movie that these were supposed to be goodies. They, you know, I got the feeling that they were creatives, kind of trying to.
landlords don't see themselves as the baddies, though. I'm not saying that he's a landlord, but like landlords don't. They're not saying, "Haha, I'm gonna walk into this building and buy up all the shit and sell it on for loads of money." They're talking about, you know, urban regeneration and giving back to the community and
Sure.
making stuff habitable. So like,
I don't know. It could have, but they could have been those guys in this movie. I think it's a choice to make them artists or
Yeah.
people art adjacent. You know, it could have been like, oh, I'm here to speculate property for my new block of flats, and you'll be like, okay, not sure I like this guy. But I feel like because we're supposed to like them, what they're doing must be good guy stuff. Like, how else do you? Because they could have been social workers, I guess. They could have been, insert. You know, they could have been like drug detox guys or people setting up a clinic or, fucking could have just been a guy hiring people, like a fucking landscape business guy out there to fucking scoop up people and hire them. Could have been anything really, but I feel like the choice to make them art adjacent humans is supposed to be endearing rather than like, oh, look at these yuppie pricks. I hope they get their heads smashed in by a goblin.
Well, like, yeah, but I think like there's still the specter of gentrification that comes along with that. Like, even if they're good natured and they're not the gentrifiers, there's still gentrification will still follow wherever they go, right?
The cycle, I think, is the white, the building of these probably exclusively white suburbs and the horrible, evil behavior that harbors and gestates. Right through the sequence of, the decay that follows, the complete collapse of the little mini societies that are suburbs, and then what comes next, the next cycle, I guess. And the first thing is, I guess, people who want and need free space to do shit. Don't know. Weird one. I'd be amazed if, like, Zach Cregger doesn't come from some kind of fucking art community,
He was in a sketch troupe for a long time. He was in the Whitest Kids You Know sketch group.
Brilliant. From Arlington, Virginia.
Well, how do you feel about the flashback sequence? Do you think that's necessary? I feel like I don't necessarily need that. I don't need to experience that in order to understand what's happening here. I
don't think I need it to understand, but I really fucking enjoy it. It's such a hard pivot to a completely different color palette, some great set work, some very cool origin of the beast, demonic seed type stuff. I love seeing where because it is absolutely unrecognizable, the origin of this house and this place compared to what it is now, but it's fucking real. That is literally what happened in America. So I love getting to see that. It feels like a real fucking sneak peek behind the curtain. It's beautifully done in terms of the visuals. I think the way it all looks is really fucking cool. But you don't want it. You don't think it's necessary.
Well, I don't think it's necessary for the narrative. I think it's there to further set up the mother as also a victim here.
Yeah, and
that's obviously very pointed and just done on purpose, because the ultimate message of the movie for me is that horrible men, or the threat of horrible men, is what makes bad things happen in the world. That's why the opening scene is all about this sort of weird, scary sexual dynamic. The AJ stuff is all about what that would look like if it was real, what the first half of the movie would look like if the guy was a real piece of shit, and then the third stuff is all the next layer of piece of shit within the movie. I think there are probably some shades of grey between rapist and incest mutant dad, but like, yeah, I think it's there in order to nail on the victimhood of the mother.
Right.
So by the end of the movie, you absolutely feel for her character, which is insane, that the flip that we have as viewers from seeing this cave-dwelling monster smash in Bill Skarsgård's head to feeling genuinely quite sad that she's just been shot in the face.
Yeah, it's a fun twist. It's a good play on a cycle of abuse. I like, I like the idea. I mean, I love the tragedy of any story where somebody who's horribly abused becomes a complete monster, and then we reveal by peeling away layers that they're just a vulnerable child or whatever it ends up being. In this movie, it's fucking that, but mutated and led into just demented places, which is a fun explosion of that theme,
Yeah, the homeless guy that they meet, what refers to her as like copies of copies of copies, right? It's he's just like, this guy is just inbreeding with children of inbreeding with children of inbreeding. It's like,
Cool.
Like, obviously, we don't. I don't know if it's cool, but it's. I mean, you're
His
from
death is very
Suffolk,
cool.
so like,
Yeah,
fair
right
dues.
on. Don't let the
This is-
government tell you. There's a great moment where he's like, she never comes up here, we're fine, and immediately dies. Immediately killed by her.
Yeah, I mean that's a moment that annoys me. I think because it's so nailed on, and like we know that that's going to happen. It's the only it's the only moment in the movie that I think is remotely telegraphed. Everything else
Yeah,
is
but
like
you needed... I don't know. At that point, I needed a laugh. I needed someone to get their arm ripped off and for it to be funny because it's so dark by that point. You've just found out, like you said, that he's just building a fucking incest monster. And wham, there she is, rip the arm off. That's, I don't know, nice bit of comic relief in amongst all the incestuous rape.
Yeah, I think another thing that the movie does really well, and I don't know what Zach Cregger is trying to say with this, whether he's just trying to get you to empathize with AJ's character or whether he wants you to put yourself as a horror viewer who is, you know, most likely going to be a man in the position of AJ. But like you get his POV like a bunch of times. Like you get a couple where he's, you know, in the basement and fighting for his life, but you also get a few when he's just like living his day. And it's just really clever just to put you in that position and be like, you're a piece of shit rapist. What are you going to do about it?
Well, I think it's even cleverer than that for me. The way I read it was that this is how artistically you transcend the problem of the slasher movie, right? Your main character is someone you kind of want to die, but you don't want to feel like a dick as a member of the audience. So how the fuck could you possibly get an audience to empathize with this cowardly, spineless, self-obsessed rapist? I know. Wham. POV shot. Look how fucking scared he is. Everyone gets scared. Yeah, I get scared. I relate. Wham! Something bad and terrifying happens. Oh, fuck. That's weird. I was enjoying being him for a minute. What does that say about me? Takes you on a really great journey. It doesn't just give you a piece of shit character to watch fail and watch die and leave feeling a bit cold or disinterested. It rips you in and out of the POV shots to remind you that you're supposed to be an active part of this this movie, not just a passive audience member watching it happen. You're supposed to be in there.
Yeah. When he flings her off the water tower or whatever that is,
Fuck.
absolute piece of shit behavior. Obviously it is, but like it's so beyond the pale. Like we know that this guy is a completely selfish, self-serving, like even like the stuff that's funny, like him finding these underground bunkers and being like, how can I
monetize this?
How can I monetize this? I mean, that's funny, but it also is character work, right?
Yeah.
It's also like we're understanding how this guy doesn't see scary underground bunkers as a threat because of the way that, you know, a man like this lives his life, completely unburdened by the fear of the world around them, but also like he is just so completely selfish and self-serving that like, I mean, you kind of, when he has that redemption speech, you kind of think, okay, we're programmed by films to believe that this is a redemption. So fair dues. He's grown, he's learned, he's gone on that Joseph Campbell hero's journey and is now back where he began, somehow changed. And
it's a good speech as well because it's not so transformative that you think he's about to get beheaded.
Yeah.
It's just pitched just right. Like I have done bad things. I am going to try and be better. Like, okay, bud, maybe we kind of believe you.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then he flings her off the top of this water tower or whatever it is.
When he says, like, I can get away, sorry, or whatever he says, I just think he's going to, like, run. I did not think he was going to hurl her.
Yeah.
She'll follow you. Woof, off you go. What a devious little prick. Love that from him. I think that's magnificent.
Yeah, and the lie that he tells to her and also to himself at the bottom when she's still alive is, I think, just the cherry on the top, right? It's
Well,
just
my favorite line, he almost kind of whispers it. He's like trying to pick her up and he goes, I'm saving you. He's saving you. Threw her off the fucking cliff to begin with.
Yeah.
I love that psychology. I love what that tells us about him. It's it's the mind of a narcissistic 9-year-old. It's
Yeah.
so interesting to see that played out by a fully grown man in a life or death situation. I think it's wonderfully emasculating. It's great fun.
Because he's sort of counting on the fact that maybe she doesn't quite understand what had happened at the top.
Yeah, he's banking on a head blow or something. Like he's banking like, I know something you don't know. Don't worry, this was my plan all along. You're fine.
Yeah, and it's almost like him being a rapist and him like doing the stuff that they've sort of told us that he did.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really care about that. He only cares that the perception of him is now bad.
Yeah, he wants to control the narrative at all times.
It's
cracking.
Interesting and illuminating, and I think woke, but positive.
I just think it's really entertaining. I don't have time for people who are calling things woke and calling things not woke. It bores me to fucking tears. I just think there's such an interesting dynamic between all the characters in this movie for a whole range of reasons. It's a real feat, the way that the movie very subtly manipulates your feelings, your position, your judgment, because it isn't, in my opinion, again, there's probably loads of people out there who disagree. It's not like smacking you around and giving you obvious shit the whole way through the movie. I think it is a really subtle manipulation of your thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do in a horror movie about a big scary troll, and B, in a movie with an unconventional structure. I mean, it is essentially 3 acts, but how easily could you lose someone by killing off one of the most interesting characters in the first act and then basically making the most interesting character? You know, I personally think Georgina Campbell is the most magnetic person in this movie. Completely disappear for a huge chunk of it and replace her with a fucking dickbag Justin Long rapist. Like, that could be a group of broken conventions that alienate your audience, but instead it does nothing but build how much you're in the movie and how much you're craving the return of these, the characters, and to see how it all plays out. It's really cleverly done. It's fucking addictive as well. You can't fucking take your eyes off it.
The Justin Long character, even though he's quite fun before we know he's actually literally the worst kind of guy. Like, he's quite obnoxious and like not fun to be around. So like, when the fact that we're given him and we watch this arc of like, him having a bad time and feeling kind of conflicted about it because like he's the only thing we have to latch onto. Yeah. Similar like to the first thing, like we only have those 2 characters to latch onto, so we never think of the third party. There could be a third party killer lurking.
Yeah.
So like he's all we've got, and he's annoying and he's abrasive and he's kind of funny, and there are moments of fun, but like when he lands in that little put the lotion in the basket hole, like, and Tess is in there, it's like such a relief that we have this character back. It's like you can almost breathe a sigh of relief that there's someone not shit to put all of your emotion onto and to like empathize with, and that it's really clever. It's just really. I
was sort of amazed that she was even there as well. I just thought for sure that she was dead. Like I'd written her off at that point. Yeah, it's interesting. I do think we need to talk about the mother as a character, because I think for a lot of people this is the point where the movie stops working for them, which is interesting because as soon as you see the monster, it's kind of game over, and the whole tone of the movie changes. The drama cheapens the human. The action cheapens the human drama a little bit a lot of the time, and I do think based on the very little like temperature taking that I did after I watched this movie, a lot of people said, "Oh, it's great till the fucking monster shows up." I didn't feel that on first watch because I thought it was quite a cool monster with a real story and an actual motivation and a true sense of stakes and a creator, everything that makes a monster work. Really, I didn't spot too much egregious CGI or anything like that. So it kind of worked for me, and I like the performance. I think Matthew Patrick Davis does a fucking good job of being this big, scary, incest, rape, demon mother. Kind of cool. But what are your thoughts?
I completely agree. I don't think... I mean, it just works for me like perfectly. Everything that it does, I think, is great. There's a shot after Justin Long has run away and is following like the pipe or whatever, and he gets to a door and he's just like looking back at the tunnel.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there, and it just like we're looking at it for ages, that we're like desperately trying to see something. And I don't know if they put something in there, like in the distance, just so like you feel like there's a presence there. But like I could see something and then I couldn't, and then I could, and then I couldn't.
Yeah.
And like it goes on for so long that you're just like desperately trying to see something. I don't, like I say, I don't know if there's something there or something not there, but like it's definitely not the mother. Whether it's my brain that's finding something to see in the light. What do they call it when like you see faces everywhere, like pareidolia or whatever? Like we're always looking to find something that looks human.
Sure.
So like whether that's just what my brain is doing or whether they're actually dangling something somewhere and like bouncing light off it way back or whatever. And
Could
that's
just even be like a slight color grading change that just draws your eye. Do you know what I mean? It could be anything.
It's just so clever and like builds the tension with a shot of a tunnel for ages.
And how many times have you seen a tunnel shot, a cave, whatever, and then you get the and you get a monster and it's like boring. That didn't even make me jump. You know,
or the opposite.
So don't do that.
The opposite of that is that we get the reverse shot and the thing's behind you.
Yeah, you turn around and there it is. Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's fun and it works, but this is, you know, how many movies have earned a 12-second shot of a tunnel with nothing in it that still creeps you out even at the end of the film? It's great.
I think it's great. Like I don't really love the Richard Brake stuff. The real Frankenstein's monster is, the doctor, right? And that's kind of the same thing here.
When he's in the modern bit, when he's in the basement, the contemporary, whatever, modern day bit, right? Yeah, I liked it just because it felt a lot like Justin Long's so revolted by him. Not at first, obviously, but when he realizes what's going on, he's so revolted. I thought there was quite a cool moment where it was like, you're seeing a bit of yourself in this guy, and that's revolted you. And that's, again, just fucking cool character stuff. Like, he's still scary in that bed, and he's still creepy as fuck, and he's still just emanating this disgusting feeling and presence. So I quite enjoyed him. I thought maybe it would have been better if he'd had more lines, possibly. Just kind of flesh out a little bit of dialogue there.
What I thought was going to happen in that scene, even watching it again, because I didn't quite remember what happened in that scene from the first time seeing it, but is that he was going to do something to alert the mother. Yeah. Like we saw the bell on the string. We saw the string goes all the way to that room. Like, I thought he was trying to get AJ to pass him the string so he could ring the bell or whatever.
Right.
And like have him be more malicious.
What's his role at this point? What's their relationship? What's happened in this fucking basement up until this point?
So I hadn't really thought about it, obviously, until this point. But like the fact that bell is there suggests that he rings the bell and she comes to the room and something happens when she comes to the room. Like she either treats him like he's also the baby, or that's probably the best case scenario, frankly.
Probably both of the things that we're both thinking happen.
Yeah.
Maybe even at the same time.
Yeah. And let's leave that there. The point is that he's just so old and fucked at this point that like, what's the point? Just die.
Is it also that she's out of control now? Is that part of the vibe? Like she's gone completely out of his control. And does he kill himself because he's been discovered?
And like perceived, maybe.
Because she's gone bananas. Like why does he's got the gun? It's not like Justin Long brings him the gun. He's there, he has the gun, he chooses
he wants the
gun himself. Yeah.
Like he's like
when he's been discovered.
I want the gun. Maybe it's just like he's been so unable to move for so long that the idea that someone could now help him put himself out of his misery.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that could be it.
But yeah, I don't love the scene. I like a bunch of elements of it, but I just don't love the. Also, I mean, it's a different kind of creepy feeling that it gives me.
Yeah, it's kind of icky.
Yeah, it's a different flavor of icky, and I think maybe it also slows the movie down. But maybe the movie needed to be slowed down at that point to give you some more of these character beats. And again, when we're also nailing on that the mother is a victim here, and that's part of that.
Yeah, it's a great point, and it does give us more of not ammunition. I don't know what word. It loads us up more for this feeling that we as an audience. This is the big social commentary point for me, I think, is that we're revolted by victims, and that is not cool. You know, it's a kind of a call to empathy. You know, we're kind of frightened of this this guy who's obviously living in the, you know, bombed out abandoned houses in this suburb, who's running at our girl, our main character, and then obviously he turns out to be probably one of the goodies, and then we're revolted by this horrendous monster who is another kind of victim, a different kind of victim. So why the fuck are we as an audience so revolted by victims, and yet we're perfectly happy to follow bastards around and be less judgmental of these bastards?
I think like
that was really interesting to me.
Something that hadn't occurred to me until just now is that like we watched this character, the mother, do horribly heinous things and feel empathy for her as she dies at the end. And then we also watch AJ do horrible things and then feel no empathy for him when he dies at all. He has almost like the inverse journey to the mother. Like we start off with empathy for this character when he gets this news that like he's had this like allegation against him. Yeah. Again, I feel empathy for him in that moment because the default position is that you empathize with the character in the movie. Yeah. And then obviously
the baseline empathy of like, oh, you're a character in the movie, I should care a little bit.
Yeah, you're all I've got at this point, so I have to empathize with you until you're so egregious and heinous that you've pushed me out of empathy. Like that's And so we start off. He has basically the opposite journey to the mother. Yeah, it's clever. It's just really clever.
Yeah, I mean, what are we supposed to take away from this psychotic motherhood that we see? You know, this demented, warped, over the top, insane mother behavior of feeding, protecting. What is happening? Like on a message level, are we supposed to take away like we're disgusted by powerful mothers? What?
I don't know, but I think like
maybe it's just creepy. Maybe it's meant to just be creepy.
It's trying to maybe show that fundamentally this monster is still a woman.
Still a mother, yeah. And even though she's presented as a monster, we're supposed to see motherhood in that monstrous behavior.
Yeah, and like obviously it's terrifying and also gross, and the stuff with the bottle.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? Would you drink that milk?
No, would you?
Life depended on it. Yeah,
I think I would react in exactly the way that AJ reacts in that moment.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I'd try and freak her out by drinking way too much.
Well, then she'd burp you.
I'd love to be burped.
Would you?
Yep.
I don't think I would.
Burp me all day.
I think I burp myself plenty fine.
There's lots of things that I can do myself plenty fine that every now and then I'd like someone else to do to me, Jamie.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Like we talked on Patreon, no spoilers for those of you that want to give us £5 a month, but we talked about how, you know, I don't need external implements to do things that I can perfectly fine do myself. Like I don't need it.
Jamie's talking about how he doesn't use utensils in the kitchen, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, I pick up those fried eggs with my bare hands.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's the exact image I was picturing. No fish slice for this guy, just bare hand fried egg flipping.
Yeah, that's me. Going back to the question that you asked me that I didn't really answer is that I don't think this movie loses me remotely with the mother stuff. The movie that I'm watching and the messages that I'm taking from it, it all fits in perfectly. I think maybe if you're watching this movie and maybe not experiencing it on like a critical level or not necessarily reading or taking anything away from the movie, then maybe that becomes a bit of a misnomer or a bit of an odd thing. And maybe it does. I think it does feed into the character stuff, but if you're not experiencing the same character stuff as me, then maybe you wouldn't find that or you wouldn't agree that it feeds into the character stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I didn't watch it critically the first time I watched it. I just watched it because I wanted to watch a scary movie, and I caught myself being like, "Oh, is it good, or am I gonna like go away and think about it and think, oh, it's fucking terrible?" I just think it's good.
Yeah, no, it's good.
There's a couple of incredibly creepy shots of the mother, some really great, the daylight moment when she's reaching out through the basement window. Get out.
Yeah.
Scary.
It is scary.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't it?
all this bullshit, hyper-intellectual nonsense and socio-political commentary we're making belies the fact that this movie is just fucking scary. It's a really good, scary film.
Yeah. I don't know if it scared me ever.
Yeah, but
I
you're
think-
never scared. You haven't been scared since you were fucking 4.
I think the scariest stuff is the Bill Skarsgård stuff.
Same.
And
Yeah, that's the scariest bit of the movie. It's not really scary from when the mother shows up. It's more fun for me. Like, it's more
yeah.
creepy, gross, monster fun. But yeah, that first half an hour, fuck off, Jesus, tense. The only thing that nearly ruined it for me, I think, was the jumping off the water tower moment, the shot of the mother flying off. Yeah, because it's close to being funny. It's very close to being like, there's an immature guy in the cinema laughing at that behind you, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because that's a thing, it makes me think, I could probably laugh at that if I wanted to, if I was in a different mood. But the music in that moment works and kind of saves it.
I think that it can be funny. It's allowed to be funny. If you think it's funny, then it's funny, and that's fine.
I don't know. I don't want to laugh in that moment, though. I want that to be the emotional wrench moment. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if it wasn't her leaping off the water tower, falling down towards the camera, maybe it would have had a slightly different feeling. You know, if they were brought to their cataclysmic semi-demise together in a slightly different way, maybe it would have had a different feeling. I don't know. I thought it was maybe just a slightly strange visual, but it still works for me overall.
Yeah, no, I think it totally works.
Splat. Do you think it would have been better if the mother could talk more and had lots of dialogue?
No.
You don't?
No, because we don't need this woman to tell us that she's a victim or to tell us that she's scary. Like the fact that she think about Sloth, right? Like the fact that like the character arc, quite small character arc of Sloth is that he's fucking terrifying when we first see him because he looks like that and can't really talk.
He's chained up in a basement.
Yeah. And then the second that someone shows him some empathy, he becomes a human character. And it's kind of the same thing that's happening here is that like, so like if Sloth could talk and he'd be like, yo, don't worry, I'm not a bad dude. Like,
Sloth love Chunk.
It's a different movie, isn't it?
Yeah, but we do get quite a lot of insight into, it's dark as fuck. You know, she dropped him on his head a lot and was a bad mum and abused him and locked him in a fucking room for years. So Sloth could have been the mother, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of is the mother in a lot of ways. Goes
That's
on a
what
bit
I'm
of
saying.
a rampage, has a bloody good time, saves the day, and ultimately begs for death on a beach at the end. No, he doesn't. Spoilers for Goonies. Sloth lives.
Yeah. Spoilers for
Happily
Goonies.
ever after, we assume.
Chunk shoots him in the face as he has his humanity moment at the end. It's a real... Yeah, Josh Brolin looks on with guts on his face. It's a whole thing.
He says, "You're going to live with me now," just as he opens his artery. No, that doesn't happen in Goonies. Well, don't cheapen the Goonies.
Do you know what I mean though? Like it's a similar.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's
Tales old as time.
It's a much longer drawn out arc in Barbarian than it is in Goonies, but it is very similar.
It's ultimately not as satisfying, I'll be honest, but it is still it's still fun.
Yeah, I'm glad that we didn't have to see Sloth treat Chunk as his little baby and breastfeed him.
He kind of does. He feeds him Baby Ruth. Maybe Barbarian is just Goonies gone wrong, dude.
Should we take a break and come back and sum up our final thoughts and get moving?
Sure.
Will you give it up, man? Nobody's out there. We're alone. Oh no, there's somebody out there. I'm picking up all this crosstalk.
Sam.
Jamie.
I'm back.
I'm back too.
Cool. Do you think it's interesting that two horror filmmakers with something interesting to say and an interesting approach to style have come from sketch comedy?
I do think it's interesting. I'm not surprised. You know, we've talked about the close relationship between comedy and horror lots, and I think you just develop an acute understanding for the horrors of the world via comedic training, and I think the horrors of the world produce great comedians. So love that this guy comes from comedy troupe work, and love that he chose to focus his power and his inspiration on this medium.
Yeah, like it's.
Do you think the next one's funny? Do you think the fucking whoops, no kids movie is funny. I don't bet it's not.
I didn't see the trailer for Barbarian, so I have no idea what the experience of like watching, what the tone people were expecting when they went to see this movie was going to be. I assume that they were expecting it to be quite funny because so much of the stuff that isn't people getting their heads bashed in with rocks is funny.
Yeah.
If I was making the trailer, I would cut stuff exclusively from the first 30 minutes. That would be all I would show in my trailer. But I don't know what they actually put into the trailer. But I know that the trailer for Weapons doesn't seem remotely funny. Interesting, Josh Brolin.
Yeah,
Little Goonies connection there.
Say. It's all about Goonies.
It is, yeah. I think this movie is really bloody good.
Thought you might.
And I love that it takes 45 minutes to give us that fake out. And I love the second that we get the resolution of that fake out, we're just immediately in a different movie again. We just like etch a sketch to the movie and start again. It's and then we're moving through the second period of the movie with just a completely different mindset, knowing that like the specter of this head bashing creature is looming. So we know that we're going to come back to that. It would be such a bold move to just never go back to that.
It would, yeah. We fly off to California suddenly, and then what? The rest of the movie happens there? What the fuck?
I kind of want to see it just so I know that it doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? I want to see somebody do that just so I know that it's not right. It's not the right thing to do. But like the idea that like we do a thing and then we move on. It almost feels like maybe it would be in like a VHS movie, one of those like
anthology type things.
Anthology portmanteau situations, yeah. Portmanteau? That's not what that is? Not sure. But yeah, it's just really bloody good. The performances are great. The weak link for me is Richard Brake because he's not at the level, I think, as an actor. All he does is menace, and he doesn't really perform menace. He just sort of looks menacing.
He also does Grease. To be fair, he is a greasy, menacing man.
Yeah, I think that there are some really fun things that happen in Barbarian that we've not talked about that are like things that you can only do if you're really deeply knowledgeable about the horror genre, like embracing tropes, subverting tropes, recognizing tropes and sort of pointing them out in a fun kind of meta way.
Yeah,
like that moment when the long corridor opens in the basement and Tess is like, nope.
Yeah, it's great. Really good. Perfectly placed. Again, all about pacing. Very well done. Love that.
I just think it's bloody great. I give it 8 big chugs on the hairy baby bottle.
Ooh.
The fucking hairs coming off the rubber nipple on the baby bottle. On the baby bottle, it's just that's one of the most unpleasant things in the movie. Just those strands of hair.
Well placed. It was somebody's job to literally put them there, probably with tweezers.
Yeah.
Well, you've given it 8, but 8 out of what?
Well, I hadn't finished. 8.
Oh, fucking hell, Jamie. Take your time. Jesus.
Out of 9.
8 out of 9.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, lad. That's a high old rating.
Well, it's a great old movie. What are you rating it, Sammy? What are you thinking?
I feel like this might be a little bit underrated, to be honest. It doesn't feel like a movie that gets a lot of airtime when it comes to people chatting bullshit about good movies. I think it does a lot that's relatively original, and what it doesn't do that's original, it does in a really satisfying way. It's quite a comforting horror movie in some ways. I do think it's hilarious. I think it's really emotionally challenging. I think it carries some very deep and very difficult themes quite carefully. And I think it takes some really calculated risks. But the real things that I take away from it and the things that really make me enjoy it are the fully fleshed out characters that we get to spend time with in the movie, the pacing and the subversion of expectations with fucking buckets of agonizing tension. If you put all that together and you make a movie that also has a really interesting plot and some very compelling special effects and a really satisfying resolution, you just can't fuck up, really. So for that reason, I'm going to give it 9 gunshot wounds to the face Out of 10. It's a good film. I enjoyed it. I've only watched it twice. I enjoyed it both times in different ways, which I think is also another strong factor for a movie that has a big old surprise, is that sometimes it's a one and done. But I think there's more gristle to chew away at with this film that warrants a second or more viewings. And that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I think like the second viewing for me was understanding why I felt the way that I felt when I watched it the first time, because I knew
for sure.
I knew that the twists were coming. So it was like, why do I still feel the tension that I'm feeling? Like, what's happening? What's the filmmaking magic that they're doing? The performance magic that Bill Skarsgård and the other actors are doing to make me feel this, even though I know that this isn't the truth.
Yeah, and that first watch is almost overwhelming in that emotional journey. You don't have time to think, fuck, why am I feeling this? Just like, oh God, I hate feeling this. And then before you know it, you're on a roller coaster. So yeah, the way it plays with the 3-act structure for me is such a wonderfully calculated risk that really pays off in a satisfying way. And that's massive for me. I love seeing that. So yeah, kind of magic. And I'm really looking forward to going to see, oh no, I've lost all the children at some point. Maybe
it's
on
called
a plane.
Weapons.
Weapons, that's the one, yeah.
If you've seen
Again,
Weapons,
another exciting title, an exciting tease of a title. Love that.
Yeah, so I mean, we can discuss maybe this more when we've both seen it, but like the suggestion is that the kids are somehow becoming weapons, right? But what does that mean? What does that mean in the context? Is it that? Is it, what could it possibly be? Who knows? We'll find out. I'll find out on Saturday morning when I go and see it, and you'll find out when you're in the sky, hopefully.
I hope so, although I'll really struggle to watch it if it's on the plane, because I just always end up watching Wayne's World. I don't know, I don't love watching horror movies on planes. Always worried that there's some fucking stupid kid behind me, you know, being traumatized forever.
I remember watching Suspiria on a train, and the little child that was sat next to me looked like he was constantly shitting his pants. And that's,
I bet he fucking was.
Like, don't look at my screen then. Nobody fucking invited you to look at my screen, fucking Michael.
Kid. Get lost, kid. Now, I'm really looking forward to seeing Julie Garner in just any role, full stop, but in another role where we get to see, hopefully, even more fucking breadth from this actor. Like,
so are you going to go see Fantastic Four?
Anything she can't do. Fuck no, I'm not going to go see Fantastic Four. Are you out of your mind?
She's in it. You said you see her in any role, and that's a role that she is in. She's in the Fantastic Four.
Don't need to see her in that, mate. Don't need it. Don't need that in my life.
Well, if you've seen Weapons by the time this comes out, or if you've got opinions about Barbarian that you want to share with us, you can do that at our social media at FT Horror Show. You can support the podcast by subscribing to our Patreon. For just $5 a month, you get uncut, unedited video and podcast versions of this episode and many, many others like it. You can also go to wherever you're listening to this, rate, review, make sure you've got automatic downloads turned on, smash the bell if you're on YouTube, which is what we were talking about on Patreon earlier, wasn't it? Smashing the bell.
Smash the bell? What are you trying to do?
And, you know, tell a friend. Help get the word out about Final Transmission. We have, at this point, recorded 104 movie reviews, Sam.
That's insane. That's the behaviour of insane men.
Yeah. Well, they say that the true definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and trying to get a different result.
Yep.
And that's what we're doing.
Yep.
What's the different result that we're trying to get? Who knows? But
not being so hungry and tired.
Well, Sam, I've really enjoyed taking my summer horror days with you.
Oh, me too. Didn't we have a lovely time? I wonder what our snaps are going to look like when we get them back from Boots.
Yeah, we'll make the slideshow and we'll take it around our family and force them to watch it at gunpoint or whatever people used to do.
I actually had a mate who's my age do that to me once, and it was fucking brilliant because he went to Pakistan as a Médecins Sans Frontières doctor, and his slideshow was fucking unbelievable. It was great. Wonderful. Shout out Tom Bowes. Good man.
Well done, Tom Bowes. Tom Bowes?
Yeah, Tombos.
It sounds like it belongs to Tombo.
Belong a possession of Tombo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thanks.
Well, that's it. That's the end. We're done.
We are done. We'll be back at some point next week, perhaps, with more episodes.
All final transmission.
Yeah, forever.
105.